Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. I'll start off and tell you the cardstock that you're going to need. I'm going to change my colour scheme. I'm going to do one colour instead of having a multicolour bit here, and this is Tangelo Twist. So the card pieces you're going to need. The card base is Whisper White and this measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored down at 4 1/8 and folded, and that is 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. Then there's a layer of Tangelo Twist and that measures 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. The top layer is Whisper White and that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. Then you need something for your tablecloth, and that needs to measure 3 7/8 inches by 1 3/8, which equals 10 by 3.5 centimetres. The cardstock I'm using is from the 2014 to 2016 in colour designer series paper stack. For 2 years there was a different pattern on the designer series paper stacks, just for just for the 2 years. So we've got 2 lots. I think the other one is 2013, or at least did have 2013 to 2015, and then 2014 to 2016. So this is one that will be finishing at the end of May this year. It's a shame because I quite like these designs, but equally the new designs are nice too. So there we go. That's what I'm going to be using. You also need a scrap of Whisper White for the cup, and bits for the heads, and a little bit for the sentiment down there. And you also need a little scrap, because instead of doing that, because I'm not totally happy with that, we're just going to punch out a heart from the matching tablecloth paper. So what I'm going to do first is I like to get the big shot dealt with and out of the way. So I'm going to stamp my cup first, and the cup stamp comes from a nice Cuppa stamp set, and I'm going to be stamping this. No, I've already got it out, didn't I? There we go. So I'm going to use Tangelo Twist ink. If I stamp that near the bottom of my piece, it means I'm going to have enough for my lower sentiment on the top part. There we go, so that's that piece. And while I'm doing this, I might as well do my sentiment, might I? The cats and the sentiment comes from this stamp set, which is called You Little Furball. Now, why I ever bought this in wood, I don't know. I like wood, but it just, with so many stamp sets, it takes up so much room. The advantage of it is that I have been able to make my acetate sheets ready for my Stamp-A-Majig. So if I ever want to use them, they're done, ready to go. That is the big advantage of wood. Love your catitude, that's what I'm taking, isn't it? Yes. Okay, move that over. I'm going to turn it round the other way because I'm going to punch this out and I want to be able to see exactly what I'm doing. There we go. Right. Now this is a little bit back to front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to punch out the sentiment, and I'm using our washi tape punch for this. I'm a little bit close to the edge here for my for the die on here, but I think I'll get away with it. We are about to find out together. Right, bring my big shot over. And the dies that I'm using comes from the cups and kettle framelits dies. There are 2 cups in here, but the reason I haven't, that's what I'm going to use. The reason I haven't chosen to use the other one is because there isn't a die for it, which means you'd have to use coloured cardstock, and I like the way that you get the little white edging around this, and also of course the decoration. There are pieces in there that you can decorate with, but it wasn't quite the look that I was after. So there's my cup. Oops. Now I think I'm right in saying, yes, the cutting blade is on the inside, so as long as I can't see any of the cutting mat through here, then I know I'm going to be safe. Okay, so that all looks alright. So I'll bring this one back. There we go, punches out beautifully. Just one little bit left in there, but that's easy to take out. Okay, so let's pop that back on there, and I'll move this back out of the way. In fact, I'll pop this one on the floor, I think. Right, so I'm going to start putting my card together. And I'm going to use Tombow I don't know if that's about to run out. Oops, no. Don't you just love it when wet glue does that to you? So what I tend to do, I don't want to have a big blob like that, just mop it down there. That looks okay. That's it. And I'll put my Tangelo Twist on top of my actual card base. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my sentiment, and the sentiment is from Birthday Blooms. It's this one here. I absolutely love this. I've used this on so many of my cards now. So, can we get it straight? Let's bring it down a bit so I can get my head over. The thing is with this stamp, because I've used it so much, I now know what this should look like from this side, you know, what angle it should be at. So that's a good reason for using something over and over again. Now I don't think I'm going to need this again, am I? I've done my stamping, apart from my cats. Now my tablecloth I'm going to put on here. So I'll use Tombow for that. Obviously this you can use whichever glue you like. I like the fact that Tombow just gives me a few seconds to straighten something up. There we go. Now what I need to do is to work out where I want to put my cats. This was the first card I did, and then I did this one. And this one I'm not so happy with the way I've positioned the cats. This one here looks as if that's a she cat to me, it looks like she's too far out of the cup, but I think that makes this one look more like a baby, whereas these two look as if they're siblings. Probably sounds absolutely ridiculous, but that's what I see when I look at these. So this is what I'm aiming for. And I think the best way that I did this, the way I did that one was wrong, the way I did this one worked, so this has got to be the right way. So first of all I'm going to pop that there where I want that to go. Then I'm going to pop the cup where I want it. So I've got a nice gap, and then once that's in place I'm just drawing a little pencil line. So I need my cats here. And as I was saying to you earlier on about my Stamp-A-Magic, I'm going to use that for my cats' bodies. So there's that. I did forget to get my actual Stamp-A-Magic, but that's here. Okay. I'll just get myself back into position. Right, so what I'm going to do now, one thing to pay attention to on here is I make sure both the tails are on the outside. I did try on a bit of scrap paper putting the bodies together so that the tails were meeting in the middle, and it really just didn't look good at all. So I'm going to keep mine like this. And the way that I position this one, I've got his, you can see the legs coming out of this one by, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or something. So that's what I'm looking for here. So now that I've done that, I can pop my Stamp-A-Magic in place. I mean, if you're not particularly bothered about it, then obviously you can just go for it, eyeball it. But if you've watched me any length of time, you know that I do struggle with straight lines. Right, so the stamps that I need, I should have got these out, shouldn't I? Are the 2 bodies and the 2 cats. In fact, there's 3 bodies here. There's that one as well. Okay, so this is this body, and I'm doing my cats in chocolate chip. I tried doing the cats in black, but I just felt that it was a bit too harsh. Using the brown is somewhat softer. That's good. I like that. And now I'm going to do the same for the other cat. It got a bit smudged. Something got onto it before it was actually dried. But that's okay. I think that's probably about it. Just having a look at how much of the back you can see and how much of the front. I think that looks about right. And I can see my pencil mark here as well, so that I'm not coming right off the edge. I'm not going to try moving that. I also think that the Stampin' jig is easier to use with wooden stamps, and I think that's because this, I don't know, is it thicker? Fractionally, it just feels more chunky to get in there. Not sure why. Right, so that's done, that's done. I don't need that for the heads. Where's my scrap paper? Here we go. I've already done one of the heads because they need to be fussy cut, and you don't really need to watch me do 2 of these. There we go. I keep checking my stamps because over the last 3 or 4 days I seem to have been getting a lot of fluff on them, and it's like the kind of fluff that maybe it's coming off my sweaters. I don't know why it suddenly started happening now, but it has taught me to make sure that I check them before I actually stamp down. Right, so that one's okay. Let me just fussy cut this one. And on these I tend to leave a little white edging around, and the reason I do that is because the background behind the heads is white, and therefore this will be white going onto white, so if I haven't cut it particularly well, it's not going to be so obvious as it would if all the edge was brown. There we go. Nice and easy to do that. Right, now I think all I need to do is to put my card together. So first of all, the cup. And I do try and put some dimensionals on the handle. So what I use is one of these sheets where I've just got the edge to it, and I have been cutting these slimmer and slimmer. In fact, what I could do is just cut that one in half. It doesn't actually have to stick down on these, it's more to keep them from bending. There's tweezers, I've gone off the edge there. That's better. And then I'm just having half a dimensional on either side here. And I don't think it needs one in the middle. Oh, I should really erase that pencil line. So just get this prepared and then I'll do that before I stick that down. Now when you remove your pencil mark, don't use your eraser straight onto the ink because it will smudge it. So what the best thing to do is either when you put your cup on here, make your cup come high enough so it covers it up, which may make your cats look as if they're just peeping over the top of the cup, or do it very, very gently And then when you do like this, I'm scared that if I go up and down I'm going to smudge this. So what I do is I just erase coming towards the painted bit. And I'm going to do this side as well. Move the fluffy bits off. That's better. Okay, so just bring it towards. I'm trying to avoid the brown ink, but if I did go onto it, I mean, like there's a little bit of a smudge there. Don't know if you can see that. Yes. Okay. Because although this ink is dry, it's not eraser proof. And no prizes for guessing how I found that out. Right, okay, so the cup goes on. Position it where you feel it looks good. Use your tweezers. There we go, that's right. And then I'll have one dimensional for each of the cat's heads. Right, so tilt his head. I did toy with the idea of using googly eyes on these, but I think their eyes are very expressive as they are. And then that one up there. And then my sentiment for the bottom, and I'm going to use 3 dimensionals on there. And just hold that up. I think that's okay. And the final bit that I'm going to do is my little decoration on my cup. I'm doing what I've done here, which was I punched the heart out in the same paper, so it looks as if the crockery is matching the tablecloth. And the punch that I'm using here is the little heart punch from the Itty Bitty Accent Punch Pack. I have to say that I think I prefer the, in fact no, I don't think, I know, I prefer the cards that have got the single colour. But then it may not have looked so nice with the blue, because obviously orange and brown go nicely, yellow and brown go nicely. There we go. So there we go. A fun card which would delight any cat owner and any child. I hope you like it. Many thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please contact me. I'm always happy to help. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, please click on the 24/7 link that's in the details below, and that will take you straight to my online Stampin' Up shop. Finally, I do put all the measurements and the catalogue numbers and everything up on the screen, but I know that depending on what device you're watching the video on, it doesn't always show. So I put all the details again in the box below. So whatever you're watching it on, you can actually get the details there and then. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.